Well, hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Call It Crew, and welcome to another episode of Call It What It Is.
What it is. What it is with a really good guest today.
We do a lot of singing at the beginning.
Yeah, the
We
spirit
should
moves
have
us.
done our own jingle. I really think we should have.
No,
But I mean, it would instantly
no.
go to number one, and then we'd be on tour, and it would just be
And
really
I don't
hard to
have
do the
time.
pod. We don't have time. We don't have
Wait
time.
a second. What's happening? Your voice sounds different today.
Well, it does sound a little more sexual, if that's what
Oh.
you're asking.
Whoa.
It's a little croaky. Actually, this is
Sexy and croaky, not
it's
the same
sexy
thing.
and
Let's go with
croaky, and I
sexy.
blame Space Mountain because I rode that
You
a few
did it.
times. Yes, I did.
It's that time of year. How many times a year do you do this?
Only once. I go
And
once a
what
year.
is it? Tell them what it is.
Go to Disneyland when it's
Oh.
Halloween time. I love it when those villains take over the park. Look at my t-shirt. I'm in. I'm fully in. I've got the Mickey
Disneyland
on.
Stole your voice.
Yeah, stole my voice. I was screaming on those rides.
It replaced it with a full heart, though. Full heart
Yeah.
of fun.
Oh,
It's funny. You like
I
spooky
love it.
time at Disneyland. I like the holidays at Disneyland.
Do you? You know what? I did it one time because my birthday is in December, right? So I did it one time, but it's not, I don't know. Maybe I need to redo a December,
A little fake snow, a little Santa sweating,
a little sweaty Santa on a float.
sweaty Santa
You know
coming
what?
through.
Is he on a float? Is he?
Yeah.
I did
I
feel
mean,
bad
when
for them,
I was
though.
there, yeah, he was on a float and he was waving, and there was a lot. I was filled with the Christmas spirit.
That is
Not so
cute.
much Hanukkah at Disneyland. I didn't see that. It was not
You
so
didn't
much
see any
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
Oh, I got in a little bit of. I didn't get in trouble, but I definitely. My mother had a about an
Uh-oh.
episode we did.
Okay, tell me. Because by the way, you also do a
Mm-hmm. I do. I get my from her.
So Mama Capshaw did a
Hmm.
was it our sex toy
Yeah.
episode?
Well, here's the thing about starting or being on a podcast is that, there's going to be people who know you really well who are listening, and even people who know you really well who might have, grown you in their bodies and then delivered you into the world.
Yeah.
Hear things that make them go,
Hmm.
What
what was now I'm interested. What was the Mama Capshaw?
Well, it was during our episode with Zoe about sexuality and all the things. And she was surprised to hear me report that I grew up in a Catholic culture,
Really?
given that our home is a Jewish home.
Well,
She was like, wait, and I felt like actually it was funny
interesting.
because I thought, you know what? I totally understand why she was going, and what the question was. And when I was talking about the origins and like how I feel about sexuality, and when I reported like having grown up in a Catholic culture, that was when I was younger. Like when I was younger, and just the first idea of sex came about, I was like, oh, I feel informed by having, grown up in this, in this family that goes to church on Sundays and all the things that came along with it. That being said, then in my teenage years, yes, I absolutely was in a Jewish family. So I have a foot in both
you have both.
in both cultures and homes. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
And they were both equally very influential, right? Like, because religion and culture and customs are a huge part of who we are and how we're grown and how we're developed.
I love that, like, so that was our dildo Duchess episode. So
Yep.
of all the things we said in there,
Yeah, that was the one she was like,
it was like, He was like, Catholic, what? Not the how do we use this in the butt in the
No.
where is this? She's like, that's the text we're getting. We do need to have Mama Capshaw on the show. We need her.
I know,
on.
for sure we do. For sure we
She
do.
can pick the subject, I think.
Yes.
She needs to pick the subject. Maybe we should
Yeah.
have her on for parenting and see what you guys have to say. Maybe you have differences
goodness.
in your parenting.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be kind of interesting.
It's always so hard because you never stop being someone's daughter. And so
No,
for
that's
me, there's an equal parts mother knows best. Like I so deeply respect everything she has to say and her experiences and the sum of them and how she can help in so many ways. But then there's that, teenage part of me that's like, you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, of course. What are you talking about, Mom?
You don't know nothing.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing, Mom.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about who we have coming on today.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but my hair is in a big blowout today.
Oh, yes,
And
I
it's
did.
and it's on theme for our guest, actually.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, we finally done it. We have finally done it. Everybody has been asking us to have someone from Grey's Anatomy, main cast member on the show. And who do we have coming on today?
We have the lovely, the talented, the kind, the generous, the smart.
Gorgeous, amazing.
There's a lot more I could go for, but we're just going to say it. Sarah Drew.
Sarah Drew.
Yes, we do.
Kepner. I blew out my hair, April Kepner style. It's still not, you can't recreate a Kepner.
She had some bouncy waves.
She did. You know what's funny is when I got on the show, I was like, I saw her hair and I was like, oh my God, oh, great. Like I can get hair like that. And they're like, no. You're going to be in a bun for the next 13 years because that's the Kepner. And we make sure that only Kepner has the Kepner.
She's got some good hair.
She's got some great hair.
Okay, let's just bring her in because I can't wait to see her.
Yeah. Let's bring the family in. Sarah Drew, welcome to Call It What It Is.
Call it
what it is.
Yeah, see, we can get her to sing too.
Exactly. We're talking about how you sing a lot on this podcast, Sarah. And we're like, we should have done our own jingle, but we decided it would have been number one.
Yeah. It would have been a number one hit. And I feel like it could have made headlines and you should totally do it.
And then we could retire.
With her and then be done.
We're done. That's it.
That music money. We would have peaked.
The jingle money. It's the jingle.
Yeah, the jingle money. Okay, so before you came in, we were saying the fans have been begging for someone, main cast member from the show. And then
am I your first?
Yes.
First.
You're the first one.
Yeah.
I feel so honored. Thank you, guys.
We are so honored. We're so honored to have you.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
We're going to have so much fun. And we asked, and then we threw it out there into the Graysverse, into the fandom. And we said that you're coming on the show. And we just got bombarded.
Got excited.
They're pumped.
I mean, it wasn't planes flying over a studio or anything, but it was pretty darn close.
Jessica, how many people do you think can say that they've had a plane fly overhead with their names on it? I mean, I don't think there are not very many people that can say that.
I think you guys need to tell that story because maybe people don't know what you're referring to.
Oh my gosh.
You go, Sarah.
Okay. So the news broke that Arizona and April would be no longer in the next season. And the fans went bananas in the most incredible love bomby kind of way. Yeah. And there was this one girl, I think her name is Lindsay, because she visited set like 2 years before and hung out with me and Jesse. And I have pictures with her and her dad. And like, she's a fan. And she organized the whole plane thing. So she rallied all the fans to like raise money. And then she reached out, I think to you, Jessica, right?
That's ringing a bell.
I think she reached out to you just to make sure we were both going to it needed to fly when both of us were on set during our lunch break.
I don't think I believed it though. I think I was like, I got this message, but I don't. Yeah. So then all of a sudden we were there and it was like you couldn't script a better or more beautiful day. It was like a bluebird day, like blue, blank, gorgeous skies. And all of a sudden this plane goes above and there's skywriting. You got a skywriter.
Oh my God. Wait, it wasn't a banner? It
was a flag.
It was skywriting?
Just kidding. I don't remember things well.
It was a sign that said, "We love you, Jessica Capshaw and Sarah Drew." Written like a huge plane flying a flag behind it.
Now I'm
and they circled for the entire hour, like lunch break.
They got their money's worth.
And around Prospect Studios.
Yeah.
You guys realize that when I leave, there's not going to be a flea that flies by holding the tiniest stamp of a banner for me.
Can I tell you? So I got like the aftermath of this being fired from our family moment. I wound up having to do a bunch of interviews and walk a bunch of red carpets because the the web series that I had directed was nominated for an Emmy. So literally like 3 months after getting fired, I was walking the carpet for Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, that's one of those
Welcome
trippy
to your life.
Yeah, trippy industry moments.
Trippy. But this is what I wanted to get at. I was like doing a lot of interviews and everybody wanted to know, like, how did it feel, whatever. And of course, the one sound bite that everybody took and was plastered on all the headlines that was picked up was Sarah Likens.
Actually, a great quote.
And what I was trying to describe was like, we were unceremoniously let go in a way that felt really mean and unjust. And because of that, the outpouring of love was so enormous that it was like you were sitting there watching people say all the things that they love about you.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah. I have a question. When you guys came, because you've both come back to the show, does it feel like coming home?
Absolutely.
What does it feel like? Yes.
But I have no attachment to it at all. So I think there's peace where when I was on the show, when you're on the show, you never know what's going to happen. You never know if they're going to lose interest in your storyline, or if you piss off the wrong person, then something's going to happen. Like, you don't know. But when I've just popped back in to say hello, I have zero anxiety, and I don't need anything from anybody on that set anymore. They're not responsible for my livelihood anymore. They're not responsible for my success or my joy. So like it feels very, very freeing to pop back in, because I'm like, hey, this is a fun spot to come visit.
When I heard you just say that, I'm thinking about when you first came. Because when I've been thinking about you so much, because we were going to be here today, and I was thinking that, Grey's is known for just having these incredible character arcs and these journeys for these characters, right? You, in particular, I think really started in one place, and I mean, obviously, you're still ongoing because you're still alive and could go back any minute, but you are in a far different place now. So when you first came, what was that like? And what was your story? Did you come? Because the big joke is that I don't remember anything, evidently.
She doesn't remember anything.
Don't remember anything.
I actually had to tell her she was on the show.
Yeah.
I think there's a clip of you not knowing that my character was with Jesse.
Yeah.
No, she didn't know. Oh, yeah, there is that. But she also thought that we came on in the same intern class. She was like, yeah, you were Jessica and Sarah. And Jessica and Sarah. And I was like, no.
I knew you were with Jesse. I never said that they were not together.
Okay, then I got.
I think it was this.
I'm bad, but I'm not that bad.
I think it was this.
I have eyeballs and ears.
But yeah, we were talking. Did you know when you got cast? Did you know, like, that you and Jesse were going to be this massive showmance?
Oh, girl, guys, I was offered a 2-episode arc.
Yeah, this is the story I want to get at.
This is the story. Wow. I came on to get fired. In the I Saw What I Saw episode. I had just done a pilot with Shonda, and she said, you want to come play for 2 episodes? In fact, here's a funny story. I was originally offered the role of the woman that George saved and got hit by a truck. And she had an episode at the end of season 5, top of season 6, where the 007.
Yeah.
That whole thing. I was originally offered that just to do a 2 episodes, come play with us for 2 episodes. And I couldn't do it because of a scheduling conflict. So then coming into season 6, she was like, hey, are you free for these 4 weeks or whatever to do these 2 episodes? And I was like, sure, that sounds like fun. So I came to get fired knowing that all 3 of the other interns were all on a series regular trajectory. I was just coming to leave. And so my character got fired. And then I went and I did like Mad Men and Glee and like Supernatural.
Because as aforementioned, Sarah Drew has been on every television show.
She's literally been on every show.
I was just like a guest. I just like popped like as a guest. I was like demon possessed. I was a murderer.
It's because you're so good. You are such a good actress.
It's a testament,
you are such a but let me say this for a second. You are such a phenomenally talented actress. And the fact that you've gone from show to show is a testament to that and proof of that, because you are so believable in so many different roles. Like you are a true actress. You go from thing to thing to thing. And you're very different. So I think that it's just, I wanted to say that because I really believe that. I don't know that I've said that out loud to you, to your face, but I'm telling you right now, I think that you're such a phenomenal actress. And this looking at your whole life in a different way and talking to you in this way reminds me of that because it's like the whole picture. But I remember when you came and I remember, I mean, it's interesting because I've heard you talk about it, but the character, you obviously didn't know you were going to stay. So you came for the little bit. But if you think about what you looked like and who you played and who you were when you came, and you look at what you looked like and who your character was and what you played at the end.
No, so this, I was actually just, this is an interesting little take on what our industry does. Because I was just telling somebody else about this before. Prior to my character getting with Jesse Williams, I've always played awkward, grating, annoying, ugly duckling, not beautiful people. Seriously. It's always like the weird stalker who is after Mr. Shu, or the pathetic wife who's married to a man who doesn't love her, or the really ugly best friend to the Emily Van Camp character in Everwood that like people comment on how ugly she is because she's wearing glasses.
No.
She's wearing glasses. Yes, I was ugly until my character started dating Jesse. And now I play romantic leads.
Isn't that so? That's actually, I think that's kind of fucked up.
It's super fucked up. It's because it's because the show tells you how to think about somebody. That's just the scripts are written, the character is designed in mind of like, I want you to love this person. I want you to be annoyed by this person. I want you to think that this person is beautiful. So we're going to put her in situations where everybody talks about how she's the ugly duckling, even if she's not ugly. But then that makes the audience believe that you're ugly until the show starts saying, look how beautiful she is and look how pretty and look how vibrant she is. And then all of a sudden the audience is like, oh yeah, she's pretty.
You're a product being sold. Yeah. They're advertising you to be like a certain way, basically.
Yeah. And it's written into dialogue that you're telling the audience how to feel about somebody. Always. Like that is what is happening in a script. Always. You're telling somebody how to feel about somebody. So like it's very interesting. And I loved all the weirdo characters that I played before moving into romantic lead land. And the funny thing is, too, my whole career started playing the most romanticest lead of all, Juliet, on stage. But it was on stage. So it was far away. It's not like, right up in the face.
Well, I know what's important to mention right now is that I don't know of any plastic surgery that you've had. So you've always been beautiful. I think what you're talking about is the way that the characters talk about you, or how you're made up in hair and makeup.
Yeah.
And all that. Yeah.
Because I was talking before you came in, Sarah. I was like, I blew out my hair today for you to honor April Kepner. And when I came on the show, I saw you in the makeup chair and the hair chair, and your hair was like, you were so glamorous. And I was like, oh yeah, I want that. I'll get that hair. And they were like, no. You're going to be in a bun for 500 years. That is the April Kepner look. That's her. And so it's so interesting hearing you say that the ugly duckling, because you were like the put together, gorgeous doctor on our show. In fact, so that like some of us, like literally we weren't even allowed anything.
But April was, even when her hair started to get blown out, nobody commented on her beauty ever. Because nobody was interested in her. Nobody wanted to date her. She was the weird virgin, 28-year-old virgin. And I guess at that point,
well, you were kind of, am I making this up? You were kind of like a know-it-all.
Yes.
Too, weren't you?
Grading.
That's just an annoying thing to play, right? Like that's just, no one wants to deal with the know-it-all.
No, but and no, yeah.
By the way, in real life, guess what? You are too. Not in an annoying way, but you are. You know it all. I'm being in scenes with you. You and Chandra. Oh my God. I'm like, you literally like stop everything because you're like, oh wait, hold on. This prop isn't where it's supposed to be. Wait, this doesn't make sense because I just said previously this other thing. And I'm like, who cares?
I have such an issue
Sarah
with
and Chandra are like, I care. It has to be
care.
right.
The logic the math has to math for me or I can't play.
Yeah, I love that. I do love, because Sandra was like this too. Sandra was the same way.
She was my model. When I came on, I just like, I would watch Sandra passionately fight for something about her character or her story.
Yeah.
With our head writers passionately. And you could see there was real respect between. She wasn't just going, this sucks. I fucking hate this stupid shit. I'm never even going to learn any of these lines, which we've seen other people do. It's like,
who?
I don't know. But like her passion, how much she cared about every single piece of the journey of Cristina Yang was inspiring, and it actually allowed me to have a voice. So I would watch her and go, oh, you can have a beautiful collaborative relationship with the writer team, and you can be involved in the crafting of your character instead of just being a meat puppet and like go stand on your mark and say the things I told you to say. And I really took that to heart, and they allowed me in to participate in the journey.
I remember watching you and Jesse just be so involved in story and dialogue. Your YouTube, scenes are like the most watched scenes. They have the most views of anything on Grey's Anatomy. And it's a testament to both of you. I have a question. What is one storyline that you were resistant to do, that you weren't a super fan of?
There was this one. So there was a cochlear implant story where I can't remember exactly. It turned into this conversation and Jackson and I were at that point married, but we're coming from two completely different perspectives. And I was fighting for, it had to do with a patient, whether they were going to give their kid cochlear implants or not. And I was fighting from the perspective of there's this whole beautiful, culture that's surrounded with the deaf community and with sign language and whatever. And he's from the science perspective of like, why wouldn't you fix it if it was a problem? And it kind of spiraled into this conversation where we're talking about faith. And I basically say, I feel sorry for you that you don't have any faith. And I remember being on set and like weeping to Tony and being like, I don't know how to say these words out loud because I feel like it's so arrogant. And I don't want to present a person of faith that is just feeling sorry for everybody who doesn't believe what she believes. I just like, it's everything I want to fight against as I'm playing this hopefully multidimensional, very grounded and real character who's living out her faith in a way that like resonates with how I live out my faith. I don't want to walk down a road where I am just saying, I know I'm right and you're wrong. Judge, because that's the only way people of faith had ever been depicted before on television. Right. So I remember like weeping, like there were so many times when Jesse, because I could explain it to him and then he could distill it and then I would get too emotional and then he would like translate it.
He would advocate for you.
Yes, he would advocate for me.
Yeah.
From like, he comes from a completely different perspective, but like we would do that for one another on set, which was so sweet. And I don't remember exactly.
Did you end up having to say the line?
I think I said the line, we came to a medium, a medium part where something, I don't remember exactly what was
the intention behind the line.
Intention, I think intention behind was more of instead of oh, it's so depressing that you don't know the truth. It became more about like, my perspective allows me to see the unseen, and there's magic in that. And I wish you could join me there.
See, and as an actress, I was a little bit more like, Jesus, take the wheel. If the writers want to write that and I'm going to say that, then I'm
I've fought that harder, advocated. But because it's something I know so well and something I care about so much, that was, you know, if I look, my role, I would have had a much easier time on Grey's if I was not playing a Christian.
Yeah.
So it's like making that quick turn and go, oh, this is a whole new way of looking at like, I mean, identity.
What I think was so genius about what the writers did was that there were no real stereotypes built around me as a character. You know, there was no direction with hair or makeup or the clothes I wore or things I did. It was very much like she could be anything, and she was gay. Like,
well, that's what I love so much, and I think what Shonda's writing, what this show in particular sort of made a path for, which is to like just show everybody and not comment on it all, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to make a whole thing about that part of your identity. You're just living your life in your skin as who you are, you know? And like, and we're representing everybody you can imagine while just living our life. You know, there's nothing so powerful. There's no like sermon you can give in an episode that's going to be more effective than allowing yourself, you know, allowing someone to be seen in a way that isn't just like, now we have to do an after school special about this.
Yeah. 100%. The only time that I ever had issues with words was how many fucking times we say each other's names. I'm like, I'm not saying
so
it.
many.
I'm not saying her name. Everyone knows what her name is. No one needs to hear me say April. I say April 5 times on this page. I'm not saying it.
Jesse had the same issue. Jesse's like, I cannot. Like, how many times? April.
I know. No. April.
I had this too.
April, hand me the 4 steps. And then afterwards, April, I don't understand why you're not. April, just open the door. Stop it.
I know your name.
Name.
We all know your name.
I know. It's so true.
Okay. I have a random question myself.
Okay.
On Grey's. Okay. Who do you think, this is more like a trivia question. Who do you think would have made the worst love interest for April Kepner?
Sloane.
Oh my God.
Oh, goodness.
There's no need to even explain that.
Can I tell you a funny story? On season 7, before they made my character love Jesus and a virgin, there's a scene where Sloane and Reed have sex, a random one night stand. That was supposed to be me originally. It was supposed to be April. April was supposed to have some random one-off with Sloane. And it was in the original like production draft, and then they changed it. I didn't have anything to do with it, but they changed their mind.
That would have completely changed
the trajectory
of everything.
Everything.
But that's this is why I love these questions, because fans don't know this. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay, Jessica, go ask your question.
Interesting. No, I was actually, it's not a Grey's. I was thinking about how the 3 of us, if we were to do something outside of Grey's, like if we were to sign up for a movie, all 3 of us, or a series, all 3 of us, would we want it to be a drama, a comedy? What do we think?
Comedy.
I want us all to be in a comedy.
I want comedy.
I do. I mean, I love comedy.
Remember when we did the Bridesmaid, when we were doing the covers of the movies?
Of all the movies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And we did
Oh my God, that was so fun. You guys.
We got to do a Bridesmaids.
Yeah. That's what we need to do. We need to do a Bridesmaids-esque movie.
Outlandish, Bridesmaids-esque romp.
Yes.
Love it. Speaking of romps, you wrote the first sex scene for a Lifetime movie, right?
For a Lifetime Christmas movie.
Christmas movie,
Sexy
which
Christmas.
was a cowboy Christmas. And I just
cowboy
have to,
sexy Christmas.
A sexy cowboy Christmas. I just have to know, was that your idea? Did you have to push for it? And did Lifetime push back?
So it was an acquisition. So I wrote it and produced it with a separate production company, and who loved the idea. But I was basically like, look, I am a normal woman. I love romance and I love when it gets steamy. And like there are 9,000 rom-com Christmas movies. Everybody loves Christmas. But I know there's an audience for people who want to have a little more steam.
They want to see you doing it.
I want to have more steam.
They want Christmas sex.
I need more.
They need a little more spice. So I had just shot a Western and I was in like horseland in my brain. I'd had like the best time ever. And so I just started doing research on like what's going on with ranchers these days in America.
As one does.
I was like, okay, hot cowboy, hot girl. And I, as I was working on it with my producer, I was like, so like, do you think they could like really like get it on like in the middle of the movie? Do you think that could happen? And she's like, I think you should go for it. And so we produced it and we made it, and then Lifetime saw it and they're like, I'm keeping everything. I love it all. And that was their foray into, I'm going to try a little naughty Christmas maybe once a year. And they just bought my second one.
Oh,
it's a Sexy Carpenter.
Okay, tell us about this one. What is it? Is there steam? How much steam should we expect? It's a Christmas movie.
There's steam and there's nostalgia. I have a really fun. So it's about two people that used to have a relationship and then coming back together, and it's about a carpenter. And if you look
Jesus
at
was a carpenter,
my lead. My lead guy, his Instagram, Mitchell Slaggart, he basically is the embodiment of this character. Like all he does is like play with his dogs and build things. And he's also
so many women are running to Instagram right now just from those two. He builds
shirtless.
things. And
he's shirtless most of the time as he's like chopping wood on his Instagram. I'm not even kidding. He's literally the most perfect choice for this. He's so good in it. And then Sasha Peterson from Big Dirty Little Liars.
Pretty Little Liars.
Pretty Little Liars. Sorry, Pretty Little Liars. She's amazing. So they're both amazing in it. But I have like a fun nostalgic comment where basically he was like her Jordan Catalano growing up, where they would like make out in secret, but he would like hide her. Did you not get that reference, Camilla?
I get the reference. I'm thinking like Wonder Years a little bit.
Not one. It's Claire Danes. It's My So-Called Life.
My So-Called Life.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With Jared Leto. Jared
Leto. I forgot that was his character name, but I did not like Jared.
I know he was a jerk. Well, this is the issue is that she comes back and they had all these steamy makeout sessions when they were kids, and then now she's back and there's a spark that's reignited, and she's a writer of a romantasy novel writer. So she writes like fantasy romance novels.
This is so good.
And he's a carpenter. And so he's trying to rebuild this town that had like a massive fire 5 years ago. And so he's been like helping the town.
He's been shirtless for 5 years.
Been shirtless, restoring the town for 5 years.
Do we get to see it this Christmas?
Yes, I think they're going to announce the. I feel like it just is coming. The announcement is happening like now, like 10 o'clock.
Oh yes,
but I think it's December 21st on Lifetime.
Okay, we will.
So it's very exciting because the first one was a cowboy Christmas romance, and this one is a carpenter Christmas romance. And I just love that Lifetime's been like, yeah, let's keep doing this. I love it.
I love it. I love it for you. I love it.
It works. It works.
I'll be tuning in.
I got to tell you about Mistletoe Murders, which comes out on Halloween. So this one, I am so excited about this show. It has like a Veronica Mars-ish feel to it. There's like a really fun. I play this Christmas shop owner, but I've got this secret past that I'm running from and a secret identity, and so there's some like badass things that come out that you're like, how would she know how to do that? But there's people start dying and she has to solve these crimes. And there's romance, there's comedy, there's action, and it's shot really beautifully and it's written really beautifully. And I'm like, I could not be more excited about it.
And when does that air?
That's Hallmark Plus. So it's on their new streamer. So it'll start dropping every Thursday starting on Halloween.
Oh, I love this. Gives kind of like Jennifer Garner Alias vibes.
Yes, that's exactly.
Oh,
I
good
love that
job,
you
Jess.
just
I
said
love
that.
that.
That is exactly what I thought when I read the script. I was like, because then he sent me this whole like file on my backstory, and you only get little tiny pieces of it. You get little itty bitty flashbacks and stuff about like what brought her to this place.
Mm.
And it's really kind of an interesting double life situation. It's pretty fun.
Love
I
it.
love that. I feel like I made a connection there, you and Jennifer Garner being sort of similar.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Call It Crew has written in their questions. Emily wrote in and she said, "What was the most iconic scene for you during Grey's Anatomy?"
Ooh. Probably the "Hello, my name is April Kepner. I'm 28 years old. I was born on a farm. I got this." That one. The speech with the shooter. I think that was like. I think the world really encountered April Kepner.
Yeah, I just got goosebumps.
And where I really encountered April Kepner.
Yeah, agree.
That's amazing. Shannon asks, what do you think April will be doing now since she left Graceland Memorial?
Oh gosh, I haven't thought about April in a while, you guys.
Well, they're still thinking about April.
Okay. She's in Boston. I think she and Jackson are still together. It looked like the last time I visited, they got back together, unless that changed.
Can you see them having more children?
If her eggs aren't dead.
And
maybe we don't know. That's a great question. I love that answer.
What? Sorry.
The eggs aren't fried.
Her eggs aren't fried.
The eggs need to be alive.
Yes, they do. They need to be viable eggs.
Okay,
so Freya wrote in and said, "How was it working on guiding Emily and learning about the blind community?"
It's amazing. I know that would be a long answer too, but it was such an incredible experience to witness. Because one thing I will share is that for a lot of the movie, I'm blindfolded, and it was a process to get the stuff on. So I would spend like hours completely with my eyes covered.
Wow.
And having people lead me and guide me to where I needed to be. And you really begin to learn like the folks that include you and the ways that you are isolated based on, because you can't see anything. You're not taking any social cues off of anything. You don't know who's come up behind you. You don't know where you are. You don't know how you're going to get where you're going to go, and if you're in a crowd, if people aren't actively including you verbally in the conversation, you feel completely invisible. So it was very, very interesting. And I, in my experience, of course, is that I'm on a set where I'm the number one on the call sheet. So everybody is working hard to make me feel included. But I did remember we worked with a few visually, partially sighted and blind actors on the show. And I found myself going out of my way when we're all sitting in our chairs to verbally include them in the conversation. Because I saw it happen a few times where people just started having a conversation in the corner, and then she just gets quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter because nobody's including her, So it was very illuminating and a really intense journey. And I'm so grateful. I'm really proud of that movie.
Oh, gosh, hearing you talk, I'm also reminded of something that I was reminded when I saw you last in Chicago, is that you have, you're clearly, we all are, right? We're multifaceted and there's so many different dimensions and things and everything else. But I would say something that I know about you from being in relationship with you is that you have a through line of real humanity and goodness. Like always, the way that when you talk about things and when you consider things, even when you're being naughty, and you can be naughty. I've had naughty conversations with you.
Oh yeah.
But there really is just such a there's such a goodness, and I find it so exciting and inspiring and warm, and it always feels really nice to be with you.
I have to say that on our set, I always felt like when I joined, there were certain people that felt like a comfort blanket to me, that I just felt like warmth, so much warmth from. Jessica, not the first year. That was like a spiky cactus.
Cold.
But it was cold as ice.
Icy, like an icy bath.
No, but there were certain, and it's like you always from day one, Sarah, I have to say that, like you were, and I miss you so much on our set. Ew, we're getting a little nostalgic. Okay, I'm going to hop back into some questions really quick before you have to go.
I want to just say thank you. I really just appreciate you reflecting that, both of you. That means like it's that feels an affirmation of what I hope I am, and it's that reflects the purpose that I have in life. So
you really are.
Beyond acting, that's who I want to be. So
and you are. You
and
definitely
and
are.
in the land of the yes ands, because we talk about the yes ands so much, right? I always say I didn't even know what paradox was until I was like in my 30s. But the yes and the yes ands, we've clearly said, while you can be all that goodness, like I said, you used to annoy me with all your know-it-allness on set.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have that other piece. You and Chandra, you guys get to the same place.
Oh, I remember a big conversation with you because I changed something in the moment, and you were like, "No,
Yeah, no, yeah. This is my boundary. Okay, Sarah.
this is a boundary I'm setting."
Yeah. And then, by the way, I probably was like, "Is that okay?" This is my boundary. Did that work for you?
Clear about your boundary.
I know. Guys, listen, you're hearing it from two people. I can be bitchy. Is that the right word? I don't know.
No, that's not what it is. You're just
I can be stubborn. Like I can get like immovable.
You're
where
Leo.
I'm like,
We've talked about this. She's a Leo.
Look, I admire the way that you're able to establish boundaries because it also comes with the other side of you, which is like, I will burn this motherfucking house to the ground to defend you. You know, It is a strength. And I think I probably allow myself to get bowled over too much unless I annoy someone into submission.
Actually, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think that I watched you both because I was the newbie on set with you guys. I think that you both were really strong voices on that set. I didn't get any element of like being afraid to sort of fight when you needed to have, fight for what you loved about the character. Because it always came from a great place. There was nothing ever remotely diva, all those things that actors can be. It was never, ever that. And so I feel like I learned so much from watching both you guys, truly, really, honestly, and slowly found my voice, like a million years later. It takes time, but it's so great watching. It was just so great watching you guys.
Maybe that's why we were fired, Jessica.
No.
Opinions.
That's a different episode.
That's a different episode.
We'll have you back on, Sarah Drew. We'll have you back on with a glass of wine.
Again, we just funny, but we're the luckiest people in the world because truly, at almost the end of every episode that we record, we want more. So we always leave it.
Are you already done?
I know, went fast.
It went really fast. I don't feel like
it does.
I only get to answer one fan question. Sorry, guys.
No, we're going to have you back on. This is the introduction of Sarah Drew to our show.
Or
by the way, so many more questions.
And, obviously there's, the people want to know what they want to know, but also if you have things that you want to talk about, or if you have a topic that you're psyched about, like we're obviously already set up to do this. So, let us know anything.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%. It's open door policy here for Miss Sarah Drew. We love you so much.
I love you.
I can't wait to talk to you again. We can't wait to see all the new TV show that's coming out, Halloween, Mistletoe Murders, right? We have the Christmas Carpenter. We can't wait. The shirtless,
all the sexies,
all the things, the murders.
There's some shirtless. It's great.
We love it. We love you, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Bye.